Hi everyone, welcome back. It's wonderful to be able to reconnect with you, and I hope the topic of today will be very helpful. I believe that will be especially useful for those people, for those of you who are who started K1 visa process, and when you consider you plan your future and you're thinking about your financial health, about your financial goals, and you trying to plan things out and make sure that you can take care of your lady, but you are also protected. So today we're gonna talk a little bit about prenuptial agreement. That was a topic that has been required from my Patreon members and for people who have been in the inner circle for quite some time. I know a lot of you want to know the implications, the legal side of things, but also planning. And I just would share with you the best of my knowledge. It's a very individual. It's all about what make you feel good depends on your situation, but I do understand that a lot of men have normal healthy concerns about how to make sure and protect themselves in case if things do not go as planned. A lot of times in life they don't, and a lot of times things go as planned, but not as we plan them, or they work for a good amount of time, and then when the purpose of that relationship is no longer present, things can or may fall apart. So the first point I would make is that it's in a way prenuptial agreement is something uh, like life insurance, or it's something as car insurance. It is something that you hope you will never use, but having it gives you a peace of mind. Once again, it is something that you hope that you will never use, but it does give you, it brings you a peace of mind. Personally, I didn't think so even 10 years ago, let's say. As a woman from Slavic country, somebody who is highly romantic, have very idealistic dreams and believes in best in people, I would find that personally offensive, because I would think, how can somebody can doubt my love? How can somebody can how somebody could possibly see that we would ever need to go to that, and why would I consider that even before? Wouldn't I create a self-fulfilling prophecy? So personally, I had all these thoughts in my head. Obviously, there was no previous experience of that, and this is where I would tell again that this is something you do to make sure in a worst case scenario everybody is covered, everybody is okay, and things are peaceful. You might have children by that time. So I think I think the divorce, separation, breakup is not as bad as we make it to be. And one of the things that make it to be awful is when we do not have any plans. Once again, when you buy life insurance, you're not hoping that you will die tomorrow. When you I know you, most of us forced to buy car insurance, but most of us are great drivers and most of us are doing well, but unpredictable things happen, and it's good to have that covered in case if. So if you approach this with Ukrainian ladies as topic, you might be nervous, you might be concerned, you might feel guilty as she may considers that you do not trust her, or maybe you're trying to cut your benefits, your future benefits, because we give you our time, our love, children. We do want security. That's why women getting married. Women who appreciate themselves, women who see value and see their self-worth, they usually do not have children out of the wedlock. Women who have certain standards, women who, once again, have healthy self worth, they prefer to first get married and then have children. So it's natural to think that as a wife and a mother, you want to have some protection. You want to know that you want to be thrown away, especially if you're an immigrant. You want to know that if something happens, you have to remember that in international marriage, you do not have the luxury a lot of times, especially if that is American man and Eastern European woman. You do not have the luxury of getting to know each other in every aspect. You usually don't get to live with each other. You have to take decisions pretty quick. So you have to understand that even the best intentions, even the best relationships could not survive certain struggles, such as getting to know those parts of each other that you were not able to see while simply dating, such as having, of course, different mentalities, language barrier, financial difficulties, and all of that. So every woman would like to know that if worse or worse happens and you need to separate, that she has her bases covered, that she's not somewhere out on the street. You have to understand the fear of 90 days fiance, of the woman who live in her country to move somewhere. Even if you have great understanding, you have a lot in common, she still understands, you are her world. And if things do not work out with you, she's alone against the world. And if she also have a child or two, and if she spend her years, nurturing children, and maybe she was a stay-at-home mother and wife, she may not have all the survival skills. Other words, she can be crippled with fear to even think, if things don't work out, she will have no place to go and no support and no social support system, at least not in the first couple years. It takes a while to make friends and acquaintances and so on and so forth. And other scenarios, you can be living in a far area, in a remote area where, all the Russian or Ukrainian or whatever ethnicity she's from, she might be living far from that, and she would appreciate your care. And this is how you need to approach the whole idea of a prenup. Instead of bringing it in and saying, well, I have been screwed in my life already, and you are not doing this to me. If we get into a divorce, you getting, this much. You getting nothing. If you would tell that, she probably will reconsider. Of course, you wouldn't bring it up as that. But remember, it's not her fault if you've been previously divorced, if you've been previously hurt in marriage. This is not her fault. She wasn't the one who took you to court. She has nothing to do with that. So as you have nothing to do with what experience she have or she had, and you're not responsible for the man that may be left and did not support her and her child. You have it's not your responsibility. It's not your fault. So if she will come to you and say, you know what, I know how men are. You stay for a while, and then you find something wrong, and then you leave, and we are left on our own, plus with a child. It would be unfair if she would come to you and be defensive, demanding some kind of support. Well, most of Ukrainian ladies do not really know much about prenup or marriage contracts, as they call them in Ukraine. So, to the vision that I have, I believe that the best way to approach financial or marital marriage agreement, prenuptial, is to show that it comes from the from your planning, and from your point of caring, from your desire to make sure she is okay. Every person have their interest first. Let's agree on this. We all want to make sure that our interest met first, especially if you as a man, the leader, you want to show her that she is a priority and she is first, because she trusts you with moving to another country. She trusts you to basically replace her entire life with her friends and family, because let's face it, when you move, you have a lot of sacrifice. So if you come from the place of care, from the place of being a protector, and you tell her, I love you, I hope that every year we celebrate, another happy experience, we get to know each other, we put up through each other problems, but I on the other hand, I don't want you to put up with me if it's no longer works. If we both unhappy, if we both not in a good place, we cannot predict the future. I want you to know that you are protected. I totally and absolutely have faith in us, from things that depend on us, on our conscious things, on our behaviors, on our effort. I know you, and I know you have the best interest in your heart to make the best of things. But if so happens something unpredictable that we need to separate, I want you to know that I have you covered. You will not be struggling. You will have enough to live. You will have enough money to live on. You will have enough of protection. And now, what the numbers, the conditions, that's very individual. That totally depends on your income, where you are at, who are you marrying. Are you marrying somebody that is very suitable, on the same page with you, or are you going for somebody who is sort of, okay, I will marry you. You have a little bit of a suspect that they might be there for their ambition or other goals. That is very individual. I will not go in this video for too many details, but as long as you come from the place of caring, from the place of being a planner, of looking at the things ahead, your Ukrainian or Russian woman will appreciate that. It's the same thing that if it has a different approach, if you come defensive and share how badly women, what women did to you, she probably will reconsider even marrying you at this point. Because if you're not done with anger and frustration from previous relationship, you probably should not get into new ones. So that is my main idea for the approach, just showing yourself, coming out very genuine, very authentic, being a man that plans ahead, and showing her that no matter what, she's going to be taken care of and things going to be all right. And my personal point, that sort of a psychological insight, is this: a lot of times people are waiting for too long. A lot of times people are extremely dishonest with each other. A lot of times people absolutely hate each other, but they're staying together because they're afraid of dividing the property, the bank accounts, other assets. But meanwhile, They might be completely getting destroyed emotionally, mentally. Meanwhile, the time of life is passing, and the fear of the court, the fear of dividing, the lawyers, the war, stops people from being honest and maybe let each other live and be happy with respect to the wonderful times that they actually did have. I personally believe that, most marriages that end in divorce, that they did work. They just worked for a certain amount of time. They may have a purpose, and once the purpose was completed, it was just was nothing was there anymore. Whatever reason that is, to my personal opinion, that is the worst thing when you live with somebody and you are absolutely miserable. You are absolutely lonely, and it's you might look great on the public, but in private, um, there is that phrase, a public success and a private failure. And it is very sad because I know a lot of very talented and gifted people that are great in the community and having tremendous impact. But I know that in private setting at home, their spouse does not respect them or does not recognize them, whatever their needs are. So that's why I think it is important to have that backup plan set. And when you agree on that, when you have, okay, we are not getting married to get a divorce, we are not doing all this effort to split up, but if worse comes to worse, you have a plan of her support, you have everything on the paper, so you don't need to ever think about this. And if you're miserable, you can have conversation, you can go to therapy, you can try to do a lot of things to save your marriage, but at least you won't die. You won't have a lady won't have a breast cancer, and you won't have a heart attack, because a lot of people suffer very much in behind the closed doors. A lot of people suffer very much behind the closed doors, and when you have a backup plan, you don't have to do that. You can, some people, not all, but some people can even be friends. When you do not tear each other apart, when you don't fight for the kids, when you don't go and spend tons of money on lawyers, when you have peace, if you have peace, okay, I have something positive to finish on. If you have peace in the beginning, if your future wife is okay with how things will go in case you need to divide, if you are fine with what you are getting, you probably will never get to this, because it just shows that you don't care so much. You have your standard, your vision, and it's settled, it's done. You're gonna take care of your wife anyway, right? And it's a tremendous responsibility. I understand, for men, but it's also a major step for a woman. You basically give yourself into arm of the person. You don't know yet how well they can manage, but you are already dependent on them, and you are very vulnerable. But you have a great chance of leave a legacy and create incredible children together and create just a great life. But it does come at a cost. Some people do not even want to try it. They that is fine, that is okay. It's everybody's choice. This video is for those people that want to take that, they want to have an official family, and they want to make sure that there is a backup plan in case of emergency. And don't we learn a lot right now about having an emergency fund, and those people who did not have any backup right now in COVID-19 situation, a lot of people are suffering because they did not have an emergency. That is obviously an emergency unknown. Same situation can happen with a marriage. Same situation can happen with relationships. It's not always somebody's fault. Life is full of unpredictable things. And therefore, I think that it's necessary and it's a very good idea to have prenuptial agreement, to have an idea of how things could be managed so you come out with the least of harm and things are peaceful, especially if you have children. Think about how important it is for children to know that you're not destroying each other. It's so, so important. And once again, people who are easy to agree, to put it and take it out of the way, these are the people that are less likely to be in conflicts, in drama, and then later in divorce. I truly believe that, most of people having the best intentions. So I really would like to hear from you. I will consider recording more videos on this topic. Possibly about particular sides of that, and for the Zoom call next Wednesday, we could discuss prenuptial aspects, as well as planning. We have some members that are in ongoing relationship, even though things have been postponed somewhat, but relationships are not postponed, they still go. We have internet. So I also have something I need your help with, and I really truly hope that you listen to this moment and you would consider honoring my request. We need to make sure that as many people get this message as possible. Something going on with YouTube algorithm. The videos have less and less views, and it's not that big of a deal in terms of it doesn't have such a big of an effect from one point, but from another, less and less people will be able to see something that they're searching for. So I truly need your help. If you find the video helpful, would you consider making an effort of hitting the like button? If you like the content, if you like the video, please hit the like button and put a comment under the video. That would be very helpful, because if the video gets more and more likes and comments, then YouTube recommends it to people who are searching for similar content. And I have not been focusing on marketing. I have not been focusing on keywords. And so many people tell me, Veronica, I wish I would see it months ago, and that video was 2 years ago. Or I would hear this, oh my gosh, I wish I would even know that this exists. So please, I would appreciate community effort, and also I would appreciate that as you guys seeing value in my time as well. So if you could comment under the video, it can be as short as thank you. And of course, my favorite is when you comment on a particular point I made. And also getting the like button to help the message to spread. I would wait to release a new video after I see. So I'm asking you, I need to get at least 50 likes on the video and at least 50 comments under the video, so I will release the next video faster. Or I will just release it basically on the next day. All right, or next couple days, or next week. If I do not get activity under the video, maybe this is a bad topic, maybe you don't like my representation, maybe I should do something else. So without your feedback, I might postpone making so many videos a week, because we are here for quality, we are here for the depths of the message. I am aware that my content is a lot more into depths than a lot of people who create similar content. And I would like more people to be able to learn and discover those insights. You still welcome to join Patreon, and you will be invited to the weekly call, which I offer weekly calls for the month of April. Probably after that, we'll have 1 or 2 calls a month. This is just my emotional distance relief for us to connect during this difficult time. So I hope that I will see you on the next Zoom call. I will post once again the link to for our meeting, but please consider, if you don't like the my videos, the way I share things, I totally understand, and you are free to to watch maybe somebody else. But you can make a great favor by letting me know you're watching, you are sharing, you are liking, and writing a comment. I believe that if you like a content, if you like somebody's consistency in their insights, and these videos are coming for free, you're probably capable of taking the effort of getting of getting the like and the comment under the videos. Thank you so very much. We are doing this to spread the message, to help people who have a lot of doubts and do not have enough of information. So thank you so very much. Let's stay connected during this difficult time. I deeply appreciate every one of you, every single one of you. Thank you so very much, and I will see you very soon.